It's a lovely good afternoon, starting it on a sad note, looking at the burial that took place yesterday for Mr. Nasilele. That's the reason why maybe you are seeing me on this sad note. He was a great man, and as usual, though I know you love it on a hyper way, but we'll get hype once we unveil ourselves. But anyway, I'm your host, Amos Eke Amore, and I'm never alone on set. As always, I'm joined by Mr. Rapson. Mr. Rapson, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much and good afternoon to
everyone. A few words before we go to Augustine.
It's been a sad week. We lost one of the greatest coaches that Zambia has ever had, Fred Nasilele, and he was put to rest during the course of the week. It's very, very sad for Zambian football.
Yeah. Augustine.
Thank you very much for having me. It's good to be back on the show. We saw the passing on of Fred Nasilele, the former coach of Red Arrows Football Club, the club that I have dearly to my heart. I support Red Arrows Football Club, and it was befitting to see that the Zambia Air Force were present, and the current Red Arrows coach Chisimbe was also part of the proceedings at the Memorial Park.
I hope he won't be forgotten within a glimpse of...
No, I think he's someone who was behind the scenes when we won the league in 2004. He did a lot of work behind the scenes to try and help the technical bench. Even after we won the league in 2004, 2005, we went into continental football. Then we saw the command bringing on Kaneo Banda to try and steady the ship after we were playing Enyimba. After that, Kaneo Banda was, I think, sacked, or he walked out of the job. Then Fred Nasilele came and he did a very, very good job to try and stabilize the team. We brought in players like Duwelo Piri into the squad, the likes of Ruga Mansa, who was with Young Arrows. I think he's someone who will be greatly remembered at the football club.
Anyway, before we proceed into our today's topic and we look at whatever took place within the course of the week, which is the UEFA Champions League, we'll just go for a short break and catch us on the other side.
Sure.
Are you a filmmaker? Well, you are exactly what we're looking for.
Camnet TV is calling on local filmmakers. For more details,
you can visit our headquarters in Ibex Hill, next to Hilltop Hospital.
Contact us on 0972 277467 or
0962 444 726. Camnet TV.
Not just another channel.
Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726
or +260 971 177 467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back, and you are watching Off the Pitch, the show that gives you nothing but the greatest highlights of whatever happens in the sports world. And when I say the sports world, mostly we look at the Zambian League and even in the diaspora. Is it the diaspora? I use that word and I got it from somewhere. But anyway, before we go further, we have our guest who is going to join us sooner or later, or maybe earlier or later, as I would allude that. But before we waste much of your time, you guys, I'll go straight to Angorapson. Angorapson, let's quickly, or maybe let's look at the review of whatever took place in the UEFA Champions League final.
We saw the final being played last weekend, and I think Bayern Munich deserved to win. We could see the game, the focus, and even the build-up to the final. You could see the intent. They brushed aside Chelsea on their way to the finals, 7-1 on aggregate, I think. They beat Barca. And during the course of that game itself, one interesting thing that I really liked is the wing, the left side of the pitch, where you had Alphonso Davies on the left and Coman up front on the right. Those two boys were a marvel to watch. They were tormenting defenders like I don't know. And probably one of them, Coman, ended up scoring the only goal of the game. And Bayern Munich being declared champions, they played very, very good football. And you could see when they get the ball, the outside attackers would tuck in when they lose the ball, allowing these two wing defenders to go up, to push up. There was very little difference that you could see between the attacker and the defender. They were full of energy as a team, and for them to proceed and win that tournament, I think credit goes to their coach and the entire team for being focused. It was a very, very great final. I really enjoyed it.
Let's look at Coman. It's more of he came out as a nightmare for PSG. Looking at he was in their books, and then he goes there, attacks them, and scores the only goal of the game. Augustine, how do you think it injured the guys from PSG?
I think very clever from Kingsley Coman, biting the arm that used to feed him. He was a boy from Paris, came through their ranks, but it just didn't work out. They thought he wasn't up to standard. Then he moved on to Turin, to Juventus, where he had at least a decent season. He lost in the Champions League final once against when they played Barcelona, when they lost 3-1. And he moved on to Bayern Munich now. He came back and haunted his former side. You could see that for him it was something very important that he had to get one over PSG, because he thought PSG are looking for players who will try and help them win the Champions League for the very first time, and they let him go. So now he's trying to send a message to try and say, I've won it first before you, before they won it, the Champions League. And it's very interesting to see how this Bayern Munich team is being set up by Hansi Flick. You see Alphonso Davies, like Corruption has alluded to, with Joshua Kimmich, very, very good fullbacks going forward. I think Alcantara was fantastic in midfield. He's the one who dictates the tempo of the game, because he's not very aggressive in terms of lose the ball, but he's very, very good when they have it. So now the job to try and break up plays, it's over to Leon Goretzka, a player they got on free from Schalke. And it's one thing which the Bayer Leverkusen president came out and said, what Bayern Munich does to the Bundesliga, getting the top players from other clubs, I think it's bad for the league. He came out and said that this system of Bayern Munich getting all the best players, if you look at Lewandowski, he costs zero because he went on a free from Borussia Dortmund. I think you start to wonder, how do they let such players go on a free, like Robert Lewandowski, like Leon Goretzka, and they have really helped Bayern Munich to win this Champions League. As you can see, the likes of Serge Gnabry, it failed for him in England, but he went there and he has made it, and now the champions of Europe. And one sad part is that this financially is a cost for Barcelona, Bayern Munich winning the Champions League, because there was a clause when from Liverpool put in a clause whereby if this guy wins the Champions League, you have to pay us an additional, is it £5 million? So now Barcelona will have to pay Liverpool for Felipe Coutinho winning the Champions League.
We look at the earlier chances that PSG created, because as we saw during the game, PSG had a lot of chances, and we looked at it in a way that Mbappe was going to be the savior for the team.
When you look at the PSG setup, that squad that was facing Bayern Munich, they had one issue which they did not do as a team. There were a lot of individual brilliance in the individual teams that were, individual players that were on the pitch. You could see a situation where there was a lot of immaturity in the squad. The players that were on the pitch that day went for personal glory at the expense of the team. You could see Mbappe trying to do everything for the team. Neymar was clearly on his own on the pitch. He could run around, create chances. Of course, they created quite a number of chances. The experience was not there for them to push in the final third when it came to scoring. But when you look at the individual players, the composition of the team itself, PSG was a better team in terms of skill.
Yeah.
In terms of skill, they were a better team. They were killed on experience and focus. The Bayern guys were on the pitch with one intention, winning it. These other ones, the PSG team, there was a lot of individual brilliance in that team, where this one wants to make a name for themselves at the expense of the team. So for me, really, I think Bayern deserved that. As we are discussing the same, Augustin brought in the issue of Barcelona having to pay Liverpool. I'll shift back to the damage that Bayern Munich has caused on Barcelona. You can see on the Barcelona camp now, there's this movement. Messi needs to move. He had the clause in his contract at each end of the season, he's allowed to leave the club on request for free. So now there's some legal battle that is going on whether he should leave the club based on the fact that the season has ended. And now the legal battle is, has the season ended? Did it end correctly? Or it ended after the period where it was stipulated that he can leave? So there is still that battle that is going on. But all that is as a result of Bayern Munich causing the damage.
But when you look at both teams going for it in the final, would you say the maturity levels in the Bayern Munich team helped them? Because just like Mr. Rapson has said, to say for PSG, a lot of players were playing on an individual basis. But when you look at Bayern, whenever they had the ball, their concentration was full of attacking and not someone wanting to show their individual brilliance. Would you say the level of maturity matters as well?
Yeah, I think it was clear the level of maturity was a source of concern when you look at PSG, the way they were set up. You would see that the former Bayern Munich left back, Juan Bernat and Keller on the fullbacks. I think they were too much exposed in those wide areas. You wouldn't see Di Maria tracking back and Neymar or Kylian Mbappe trying to help the fullbacks in terms of trying to at least nullify the threat that Bayern were posing them. You would see Bayern Munich would double up in those fullback areas, but PSG did nothing about that. And it was clear that they lacked experience, because there was one chance, I think, one chance with Herrera should have gone for target. He should have taken responsibility and go for target. He decided to pass it to Kylian Mbappe again. I think that showed that they were not very much confident going into the final. I think the problem is, if you look at that PSG setup and the Bayern Munich setup, you would see that a lot of Bayern Munich players would have played the Champions League final before. A lot of them, they knew what was at stake and what was required of them to win the Champions League final. Lewandowski lost it with Borussia Dortmund. They had Alaba, they had Boateng, they had Müller. Those are guys who are previously was it in 2013, 2012? They played back-to-back finals. One they lost to Chelsea, and the other one they lost they won it against Borussia Dortmund. So these guys, at least they had a few of the final. But if you look at on the Paris Saint-Germain side, it was only Neymar and is it Kylian Evans, the goalkeeper. Those were the only experienced players going into a final. That's why you saw the likes of Choupo-Moting. He had a sure chance to play and level matters and take the game to extra time, and he just fluffed his lines.
Do we see the same PSG for next season? UEFA Champions League season next season. Do we see the same PSG which came out with a lot of force wanting to win the trophy for the first time?
Well, when you look at the transfer window, which is still open, damage is going to be caused very soon. Player movements, everybody wants this player to move to another club. We've heard some rumors that in an event that Messi moves to join a purported club, like, okay, it's rumored that he's heading towards Man City.
Yeah.
But in his deal on his movements, he's also putting in some additional opinions. I'm not too sure, they are not yet facts, but I think he's adding some players, like he wants Neymar to go alongside with him. And when such a thing happens, PSG is going to be broken. I don't see them holding on to their best players after reaching the final, because clearly it's an uphill battle for them to come back and get to the finals again. It's not an easy thing, but when the players start moving during the transfer window, like we have heard already in the rumors, Man City will be forced to reckon with. Because if you have KDB in the midfield,
And Messi up front.
you have Messi up front, and you have Neymar, Manchester will be blue instead of red.
Augustine, Mr. Robson has touched a lot. Maybe away from the UEFA final, let's look at the Messi saga.
I think it's very, very interesting to see that it has come to this stage. We all thought Messi was going to retire at Barcelona the way Ryan Giggs did. He came into Spain at a very young age from Argentina, and he has come through the ranks at Barcelona. He's someone who regards Barcelona very, very highly because they helped him when he had some health challenges. And now it's not about Messi wanting to leave the club because of maybe the poor performances, but it's about Josep Maria Bartomeu, the president. I think he's the real culprit in that.
I was actually coming to that. You know, it's a battle between the two.
Yes.
So it's either the club and Messi. Very soon, my anticipation that this week will not end. One of them will be sacked.
Yes, very true. Because we
The board is not playing there.
Xavi said that he can only come to Barcelona if Josep Maria Bartomeu is no longer the president. It's more like this guy he's got a problem. The way he's running the football club, how would you sign Pjanic at 29 and then let go of Arthur who's 22? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. You try and bring players like Semedo. Semedo, how on earth does he play with Messi in the same side? I think to me it's really a joke. Braithwaite, is it Braithwaite who was requesting for the jersey number 10 and he was said, no, my guy, you are also going. You're not going to get that number 10. Those are not the kind of players Barcelona needs to be having. The likes of Arturo Vidal, I think the philosophy of the football club and the personalities, the players that they were bringing in is very, very different. Because you expect Barcelona to bring in players who are very good at possession, but you bring in players umtiti, seriously.
like Augustine is saying, let me just say this. You see, when you look at Barca is an institution on its own. It's built on certain fundamentals that should be upheld. But when you look at what is going on now, the quality of the players being brought in, the management of players as well, it leaves a lot to be desired. And clearly, if Barcelona means well for the team and the institution that they've built over decades, the president has to leave the club.
And it's something which I think Guardiola noticed that this was going to come to happen, because now they started bringing in coaches who they will control, like Ernesto Valverde, Quique Setien. These are coaches they can control.
Yeah.
Not the likes of Enrique. Luis Enrique was very stubborn. You cannot control Luis Enrique. He will tell you, I don't want this kind of player. That's why he was sacked. And then you would wonder, why did they sack Luis Enrique? If Cruyff was alive, he wouldn't be happy with what's happening at Barcelona, because he brought that tiki-taka. There's even the Cruyff, is it the Cruyff school of, they have even renamed the academy to Jürgen Cruyff. I think it's a shame how Barcelona have dipped in form. They'll be like AC Milan and Manchester.
Okay, imagine the president was to leave the club. Is Messi still going to stay? That's the question at hand.
95% chances he's going to stay. He's going to stay. That guy is very loyal to the club. What Barca has done to Messi's life is something that is unforgettable. It's written on, it's cast in concrete. The man is soft-spoken. And for him to be at this stage where he needs to leave the club, there are several factors that are leading to that. But I can assure you that if the president was to be sacked, chances are that Messi would be convinced to stay. Fingers crossed.
Augustine.
Very true. I think it's all about the president. I think we saw after the game against Bayern Munich, Piqué came out and said, it's high time, if we are in the red zone, we just leave. I think he was just trying to direct a message. Okay, Piqué is one of the culprits. Him and Sergio Busquets. I think they're not doing enough. How can you have a midfielder, a holding midfielder who's as soft as Sergio Busquets? Come on, seriously. That guy is being passed around very easily in that midfield, and they've got Gerard Piqué, who's another soft defender. He's just smart. But you've seen, since the departure of Javier Mascherano, his partnership with Carlos Puyol, it's never the same with Gerard Piqué. He's been played with Clement Lenglet. They have all looked poor. He's been played with Umtiti, even this guy who is at Everton, Yerry Mina. I think he's also the culprit. So him, Bartomeu, Busquets, they can just gather together and leave Barcelona in peace.
For me, I'm just foreseeing a situation where Barca has to start building its team again. Whether Messi stays or Messi leaves, but the team is already done. Age has caught up to them, whether we like it or not.
Just like AC Milan and Italian teams, this is where they are.
See, I'll tell you one thing. What Barcelona, like you have said, you've rightly put it, Amos. The average age in the team, like Augustine was saying, when you look at their midfield and their defenders, the game they lost 8-2. It was like a training session, like they are beacons on the pitch. Like they are beacons. You can't get them on pace. If they find a speed winger, it's a disaster. So for me, they just have to start rebuilding the squad if they are to make a mark on the European scene. This is exactly what Bayern has done. A combination of that Bayern team that won the Champions League is allowing the young players blending with the senior players. In the end, it gives them pace, it gives them the experience, and they achieved what they wanted to achieve.
I think if you look at Barcelona, they've been attacked by Gazeta de la Sport, the famous newspaper in Spain. It's all about the poor management of the football club. Even Guillem Balaga came out to say they just need to put their house in order. This Barcelona team needs at least 7 new faces to try and reach the level which they were on. The only decent players whom you can build your side on is the goalkeeper Ter Stegen. They've got, Clement Lenglet is not that good, but he's young. Yeah. They've got De Jong in midfield. And Messi, the player who is going. Because the rest are just jokers.
Because for me, I foresee a situation, if they continue with that same team, we are seeing a Real Madrid that will dominate even the coming season. Because what Zidane has done, he's building a team using youngsters. We see a lot of, I don't know why he's using such a player, but we are looking at football which is turning around. The only old players we are going to see now are the players who are playing in the Italian league. But as it stands right now, I will still stick to the point. But anyway, away from that, let's look at the beneficiaries. If Messi was to leave Barcelona, who do you think will have his signature? Which club?
The front runners who have the financial muscle is just Man City. But again, you should also look at it from this angle. If Man City got Messi, Messi would come at a very, very premium price. The financial FIFA financial fair play issues, they will come into effect. I don't think they will be able to get Messi and the purported Neymar because financial fair play will be, it won't allow them to do that. So if they are to get a player, they have to really think twice. They'll get a very, very high profile player in Messi, but their transfer, the other players that would have come to beef up the squad, they will be limited to that. So for me, I think the front runners for Messi, if he was to leave Barcelona, by the way, but I don't think he's doing that, is Man City.
Let's look at age. I think age is catching up to Messi, and looking at the wages that those guys need a lot. Do you feel like he will have the same wages, the ones that he has at Barcelona, and when he goes to Man City, and age. That's the key word here.
I think the big part now, Manchester City are a club who have been hunting for that elusive Champions League title. So they will do whatever they can do in their power to try and win it. You could see the way they were set up by their chairman Mubarak. He brought in a couple of directors from Barcelona. Before even Pep Guardiola came, it's more like it's a partnership made in heaven, because it just started just like that. They brought in those directors to come and work with Pep Guardiola, and then they convinced Pep to come through to Manchester City. After Pep came through now they started building a side. You would see now they're talking about Xabi Alonso and Santi Cazorla to come and be his assistant at Manchester City. Now the missing piece to win the Champions League can be Lionel Messi, the 33-year-old. It can just be that guy, because it's that good. If you look at that Manchester City side, even the way they play, the tiki-taka kind of football is similar to Barcelona. So you would think him and Kevin De Bruyne, they would cause damage to the Premier League, and they would pass that 100-point mark to maybe 120.
How do you see Messi bonding in the English Premier League? That's if he was to make a move.
You see, a player of Messi's caliber, take him to any country at any time, he's just in his own class. He will manage to fit in very, very well. When you look at the composition of Man City and the players that are there and the type of football they play, like Augustine has mentioned, it's like it's a duplicate of the institution of Barcelona. Because what they are doing now, that is the only missing trophy that they are looking for. And when they make their combinations right, they will be a force to reckon with this coming season.
I'll argue with you towards that. Not until I see him prove me wrong, but not a player who has been at the club for ages and ages. So I would love to see him prove me wrong. But anyway, to our viewers who are just joining us, you are watching Off the Pitch, and you can also catch us live on Facebook. You can just follow our Facebook page, which is Camnet. And as always, we go around the community trying to profile players who are doing it and those who want to do it. And I mean who are doing it, I mean those guys who've already made it, who are playing in the Premiership. And we try our best to go to these guys who are playing in the lower division. And this past week we had a chance to profile two players. The other one is James Calabar. He plays for Airport Warriors. He's a striker, a centre forward. And what's the other name? Brian Nyirenda. He calls himself Successor, who plays for Moza. He plays for Moza, and we brought you this clip.
My full names are Brian Nyirenda, aka Successor 101. When I was young, I started at Palamba Academy. From there, in 2010, we even went to Europe to play Gofia Cup. Since there, I joined Young Arrows. From there, I graduated to reserve. From there, I went to Moza. It's my current club right now. My dad, my elder brother, a lot of people did that. I do business, a lot of things. I love singing, yeah. Chicken with potatoes. As in for now, I can see some progress. Yeah, it's progressing. You just have to keep on pushing and you'll be somewhere there. It has been quite tough, but as time goes by, at least I'm catching up. You know, everything takes time. You can't just come and be there, no. Otherwise, as in for now, things are going okay. First goalkeeper, Mangani Banda. Number 2, Jackson Nyirenda. Number 3, Kapumbu. 4-5, Zio Tembo. And who is this? Gerard Simsokwe. Number 6, Pokatema. Attacking midfielder, myself, Brian Nyirenda, aka Successor. The right side, who is this guy? Charles Zulu. Wing side, Evans, Topman, Jesse Well and Idris Mbombo.
And who is your best coach?
Matthew Speed. Yes.
Are you a filmmaker? Well, you are exactly what we are looking for.
Tamna TV is calling on local filmmakers. For more details,
You can visit our headquarters in Ibex Hill, next to Hilltop Hospital.
contact us on 0972 277467 or
0962 444 726. Cabinet TV.
not just another channel.
Players which graduated in Division 1 last season. I think I started in 2005 at Maposa Grounds there with Fashion Football Club. It's Cristiano Ronaldo, because that guy is always ranking for the goal and wants to create a relationship between him and the goalpost. So that's where I got the inspiration from. I do plumbing. That's all. Yeah. Shima with meat. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really improving because you know now they've started introducing young players and it's kind of quick and it's fast. You know, it's really interesting for now to watch. Yeah. I think in South Africa or Europe. I think it's Chris Kaunda is a coach. In the goalie there's Tostan Sabata. And on number 2 I think it's Silwimba. Then on number 3 Lawrence Chungu. And on the center back I think it's Chama and Zio Tembo. And in the midfield, it's Pokatema and Kondwani Mtonga. Yeah, on the wings, it's Brisson Sakanya and Charles Zulu. At the top, at least, Chamanga and Idris Mbongo, sorry, sir. Yeah.
I'm not sure on that one.
Honestly, I don't make a follow-up of the Zambian league too much, so I don't know. Sorry.
Wasn't it Patson Daka?
I've forgotten, sorry. I don't know.
I'm not really sure on that one.
I think it's 13, if I'm not mistaken.
I think this is now for the 13th one.
That's James Kalava and Successor. We call him Successor because of what he can do, the dilly-dallying that he does when he's on the pitch. But we looked at them off the pitch, and I think we've learned one or two things from them. And for anyone who would love to continue exposing players, they can even come through so that we see how we can work together, because that's our aim at the end of the day, to promote and expose talent that's hidden down there. And like I said earlier, we have a guest, and she's a lady, a wonderful lady who is into football. We always sing this song to say we want to promote women, to always talk about football, and we've got one already. Martha, welcome to Off the Pitch.
Thank you.
How's that, eh? Anyway, we are joined by Martha on stage. Martha is media public relations manager for Zanaco Football Club, and she's joined us on stage today because we want to look at Zanaco's run for the 2019-2020 season. And I won't waste much of the viewers' time, Martha. Let's go straight. How was the 2019-2020 season for you as Zanaco?
It was bad because we walked away with nothing. No Absa Cup trophy. We couldn't be able. We didn't win the league. We couldn't qualify for CAF Champions League, let alone CAF Confederations Cup. It wasn't easy.
Would you say, if I would ask this question to say it was the COVID, would you say the COVID was the reason, or maybe it was just the form of the players?
I think COVID also affected everything, because the league had to end on week 27 because of the same pandemic that's going on. So COVID has ruined everything. So
let's look at, I don't know if you would answer this, but let's look at the game, the last game that you played, the deciding game. It's more of Zanaco gave the trophy to Nkana to say, okay, Ichinamsende. Did the guys go there with the motive of winning, or maybe it was just, anyway, let's just play the game since we've been taught to play it?
We went to Ndola to fulfill the fixture. Mm-hmm. The FA said we had to play for strangers, and we followed the rules. We didn't go there to play because of Ghana or because of Forest. We went there to play because we had to fulfill the fixture, and we wanted to win. We wanted the 3 points, but unfortunately we ended up drawing. So everyone was in a fighting spirit. We wanted to end, the season on a good note, even though we didn't get to win any trophy.
How was the news in camp when you guys were told to say you have to play the game, after the alien news that came in to say the 3 points was awarded to Zanaco, but it was maybe reversed to say the game had to be played? How did the camp take the news?
We actually thought after the match with Lumwana Regents at Sunset, the general manager came in the dressing room. Actually, there were rumors. By then, we had not yet received an official notification from, the FA saying that we have to play Forest Rangers. But then it was, people talk, with social media, everything moves fast. And the match against, is it Napsa Stars with Forest? It was live on TV, and it was said that, the league manager actually announced on TV that we would have to play Forest Rangers. So we got that, we heard that, rumors were going around, and then it was received with mixed feelings. We're like, we were given the 3 points, and now we have, spending twice. We went to Ndola when we were supposed to play Forest Rangers, and didn't happen. And now, receiving the news that we have to go back there again and play after you've been given the 3 points, and also the issue of spending twice. So it was received with mixed feelings, but then after a day, the general manager said, no, we have to go and fulfill the fixture.
How would you say you are making the preparations for the 2020-2021 season for you guys?
Well, we are hungry. Like I said, we walked away with nothing. But then that's in the past. You get to learn from your mistakes. So we know what went wrong last season. We know what we didn't do right. We know what we did wrong. So we'll start from where we ended, and then see what the 2020-2021 season has in store for us.
We've seen the club. We've seen the club having new signings, but mostly I'll talk from the likes of Chisambalungu, Baba Basile. How do you feel like they will add up the spice to the already Zanaco team, which is a record to deal with, and then you bring in such players with the experience of Chisambalungu? How do you rate his, what is he going to bring to the team?
For me, I feel Chisambalungu has a lot to offer. He is he's very much experienced, and looking at the players that we have, we've been having young players promoted from young Zanaco to the senior team. I think the young players have a lot to learn from Chisambalungu, and also looking at it from a business point of view. Chisambalungu is a crowd puller, because I've had people asking me, is it true you've signed Chisambalungu? I'm like, yes. And they'll be like, I'll be supporting Zanaco from now on because of Chisambalungu. So for me, I feel he is a good signing.
A good adder. Augustine?
Yes.
Any questions? I've asked a lot.
I think my question would be the tipping form after the coronavirus. What was the case?
Before the league was halted, we were in good form. But then, the league was halted, and we had to stay home. Players had to stay home for about 2 months in some weeks. They were working out from home, receiving instructions from the physical trainer, being told to do this and that. But, that's not enough. And coming back when the league was resumed, each and every player's fitness, some were bad, some were good, and they had to get back in shape. And we didn't have, enough time to have them get back in shape. And I feel somehow that also contributed to our poor performance. And it's football. You just don't expect them to get back, to be fully fit just right then just after playing one match. But as you saw, after playing 1 or 2 matches, they kept on improving until we recorded our first win.
Because I personally, on the 18th, when we had the show on the 18th when the league was supposed to resume, and Zanaco were supposed to take on Forest Rangers. You remember I predicted that Zanaco will win the league, because I thought before the break you are on a very good run of form.
Yeah, the form, yeah.
Yeah, because under Chris Kunde you had never lost a league match up to that point. And then it's sad that it had to end this way, because I felt if you would have gone the distance, Zanaco would have won the league title.
It was so open.
In camp.
Yes, we were very much confident, but you know how football is. Sometimes things don't go the way you would want them to. And believe me, no one would wake up and say, today I want to lose. Now I've seen people blaming players and all that, but it's their job. And they have to make money. They make money through playing football. No one would just wake up and say, today I will let my opponent score, today I am going to lose. It's not like that. You know, each and everyone puts in their very best, but at times things just don't go the way you've planned them. So we didn't win anything, but we still have the next season that's coming up, and we are preparing for that.
So just on Zanaco, Kelvin Kapumbu, we saw him being voted man of the match in the last game against Forest Rangers, and I remember he was being interviewed by Super Gaspar Nguruwe. He asked him, Kelvin was rough, and then he said, no, I wasn't rough, I was just tough. And for me, he's one of the best holding midfielders in the land. How impressed have you been with his development?
Personally, I am really, really impressed. For me, I feel he's the best number 6 that we have so far in the country. And like you said, he's really improved, looking from how he's been playing. You know, he keeps on improving each and every game, and he's been able to keep he's always in the starting 11, and that's how it's supposed to be. You always have to fight, you know, to make sure that you don't get replaced, because if you don't perform well, you'll be out. You'll be on the bench. So he's been doing very well.
So are we seeing any new signings apart from the ones that are already in from Zanaco?
So far, no. I will let you know if we get to have any players on board.
Before we let you go, any words to the other teams out there, the Zanaco, the Force that you're going, any warning to the teams out there?
I wouldn't say it's a warning, but we are looking for, personally, I'm looking forward to the 2020-2021 season. You know, it will be a fresh start. We're all starting from zero, so we shouldn't be relaxed and say maybe things will go the same way that they did for each and every club this season. So we all have to pull up our stockings, you know, and put things in order, put things in place, and see to it that we'll be able to perform the way we want to next season. So we are hungry. We'll be returning for training on the 14th of September, and then see the way forward, maybe go for pre-season, but I'm not sure yet on that. But I am really looking forward to the next season.
Okay, let me just ask this question. I know maybe it will sound a bit weird, but it's rare to see a lady indulging themselves a lot into football. What who inspired you to do what you're doing?
Who inspired me? Growing up as a child, I used to play chimpombo. You know, by then we were only girls in our family. We were 4 girls, 1 boy, the last born. So for me, I would always be with dad almost all the time, and people would say, this one is supposed to be a boy. So I used to play chimpombo. Fast forward, in grade 7, I started playing netball. I am more talented. I would play netball, I would play basketball, and play football. Then in grade 10, I took football. So I played football for 3 good years, but my father was against it. And growing up, I would tell my dad that I want to be a professional footballer and a journalist. But then he was against me playing football. So that's how I got to love football. And when we had a TV, I can't remember, it should have been 2009. It was free to air by then. So one had, South African channels. So I used to watch Carol Shabalala. I still do until date, and I would say I want to be like her when I grew up. So she inspired me, and then I got to know about Matimba Nkonje. So these 2 people have really inspired me to be where I am. And then I got to know about Faith and Gwen. I started looking up to them, the likes of, Desmond Katongo, who's now with Zesco United. So I've been learning a lot from each and every one of these people. So
what's your message to the ladies out there who would want to be in your shoes right now, who would feel like their dreams are being shattered, but for you found another way of doing what you always wanted to do? Just a quick one, your advice.
There are a lot of industries, fields that people say are a male-dominated, field, for instance, like football. But then there are people like me, people like Gwen, people like Faith, people like Lillian, and people like Christina at Forest that have changed that perspective. And as you can see, a lot of, females have indulged into this field. So if you have anything that you want to do, just set your mind to it and just fight and see your way forward and believe in yourself, just so you make sure you get to that. If you have to believe in yourself first, self-belief is what works. You know, the parents might be against us doing what we want to do, but I told myself, my mom and my dad won't tell me what to do. They won't decide what I want to be in future, because they were against me doing journalism. But I said, I'll do what I love the most. Already, I've been told to not play football, but I won't let this pass me. So self-belief, motivation, and God can lead you to your goals.
Anyway, thanks, Ma.
You're welcome.
That's Martha Nshimbi, a football talent hidden in her, but she felt like, oh, there's another way that I can, you know, get into the sports industry without me playing football. And here she is doing it. She is the Zanaco football team media PR. And we saw a shock move. We saw the young brother to Enoch Mwepu, who is Francisco Mwepu, signing for team in the Australian League, though the team is called SK Sturm Graz. And we just got this short video, but before we play that short video, let's take a short break.
Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you a filmmaker? Well, you are exactly what we are looking for.
Camnet TV is calling on local filmmakers. For more details,
You can visit our headquarters in Ibex Hill, next to Hilltop Hospital.
contact us on 0972 277467 or
0962 444 726. Cabinet TV.
not just another channel.
There you have it. We had Martha Nshimbi on site here, and we're just from playing a short video clip of Francisco Mwepu, who just joined the Australian League, a team called SK Sturm Graz. Angorapson, what's your take on it?
It's a good thing for his exposure. He's a young boy, very talented, He's got a very, very good body for a striker. And the team that is joining, I'm glad that it's an average team in Austria, because if you see their last 5 games towards the end of the league, they lost all their last 5 games. And for them to add a striker of Francesco's caliber, they should be able to get value from him. It's a very, very good move for him.
Yeah, I think it's a very, very good move for Francesco Mwepu. He's joined Sturm Graz, 3 times champions of the Austrian League. The last time they won it was in 2011. And he's going there. They're now a mid-table side. They've been playing Champions League football in Europa. So I think even the message was straight from the managing director. I said that you need to give time players who are coming from Africa, direct from Africa to Europe. You need to give them time to adapt to the culture and the style of play. I think this move was in the making when he went to Red Bull Salzburg for trials, and then it didn't materialize. Then he came back to Zambia. Then Kafue Celtic wanted him to have a Premier League on his CV. Yeah, so they loaned him to Red Arrows, where he played the last half. Then this move now came through.
Augustine is failing to discuss the details of Francesco's performance at Red Arrows.
I think Francesco Mwepu's performance at Arrows, first game debut at Mazabuka, he came in with Muiza Siwale. He did well. He did well. But he never got a goal for Arrows. Unfortunately, he hit the post against Ghana. That was the closest he ever got.
You see, for a striker to get closest to hitting the upright, and you find yourself in Europe, it's big up to him. We'll clap for him and wish him all the best.
But let's quickly look at Lazarus Kambole. He broke the deadlock.
Well, like we have mentioned before, Lazarus Kambole, I've got two guys that really follow him. One of them is Elijah, the other one is Esther. They are my 2 little girls that watch soccer, and they follow us. And in the same week, Lazarus Kambole scored a very nice goal after coming off the bench.
And equalized.
Then, in the same week, the coach says, okay, fine, you are back in form. Let me give you a starting bet in the starting 11.
Yeah,
and what I saw was a player that has those expectations at a very high level and goes into the match. And when he was being taken off, I was like, oh, okay. These ups and downs in football are real. And he just couldn't maintain his berth in the starting 11. And he has to start afresh because the EPL only has 3 more games to go. When you look at Chiefs is leading. They are, I think, at 53 points. Followed by Sundowns at 53 points as well. They are separated by goal difference. And when you look at the form of Sundowns, I see Sundowns overtaking Chiefs in the EP in the South African League. Whilst we are still in the South African League, we saw Gampani Lungu with a very, very nice score, very, very good performance, a great performance.
Giving in a performance.
He accounted for himself very, very well. When you look at other players that we should have watched, like yesterday I was watching, what's that team? It was Sterensburg or something. I was expecting to see Nathan in the team, and he was injured in the previous game, so probably it could have done 1 or 2 things to him, and he just couldn't do it yesterday. Augustine.
I think on Kambole, 15 months drought, at least it finally came to an end. And there's an interesting article which Pancherello Chama did about Lazarus Kambole. He said he scored his first Zesco goal in week 26.
Same.
And it's just almost the replica at Kaizer Chiefs. He's just
26 again.
Week 26 again. So he's a red bloomer, if you must say. Maybe we'll catch up. And looking at the PSL, we saw Kennedy when managed to have 85 clean sheets in the PSL, which is fantastic for a foreign player to go there and have 85 clean sheets. It's not a mean achievement. Putting Dennis Onyango, the best goalkeeper in Africa, on the bench, I think it's something which Pitsu Musimani now is trying to work out, to try and start winning the remaining 3 games so that at least maybe they can have a chance for the title. And we, in South Africa, like Angorapson has said, Gampani Lungu, fantastic player. Coming through National Assembly, going to Power Dynamos, then Supersport. What a young boy.
I'm sure the viewers are just glued to their TVs and saying, God, these guys are not touching Patson Daka. What's wrong with these guys? But let's look at Patson Daka, guys. Patson Daka. Someone who we saw like can't make it. Because we saw the Patson Daka who used to see at Power. Very slow. But whenever he holds the ball, aggressive. He damaged the defense of Liverpool.
Well, Patson Daka's growth in football has been very, very steady. He's a hard-working boy. Off the pitch, he's very disciplined. And you can see that his investment into football and the performance that he showed against Liverpool, it's not very easy to face Van Dijk.
And scoring twice.
And scoring twice against one of the best goalkeepers as well, because Alisson, he's a very, very top-class goalkeeper. Let's not take away the fact that Salzburg accounted for themselves very well. Of course, they were let down by the defenders. They conceded late, I think the last 15 minutes of the match. But big up to the boys. I think the boys are accounting themselves very well in Europe.
Are we seeing Patson Daka ending the 2020-2021 season at Red Bull?
I think the question is who can stop a moving train? Not even the best defender in the world in Virgil van Dijk and the best goalkeeper in Alisson Becker. Patson Daka is really on top. I think if you look at John Bennett, the BBC journalist, he did a story with Patson Daka. He did an interview and he said he's one of the hottest strikers in Europe. Patson Daka, if you see, he's been progressing and he's been developing steadily. I saw him first at Airtel Rising Stars when he was the captain for Team Lusaka. He was playing with Pumulo Siang and Twiza Chaivel up front. I remember Emmanuel Banda in that team, and they won the whole thing. They had to Rising Stars, and he was the top scorer with 9 goals. So they moved to Nchanga Rangers. He did very well his first season. Nchanga Rangers scored 7 goals. Then he moved to Power Dynamos, where his start wasn't that good. He struggled. When he hit top form at Power Dynamos, you saw him score, was it 10 goals in 15 matches, which saw him move to Red Bull Salzburg. And I think Patson Daka is a fantastic player. All we can say is, may the good Lord bless that young boy.
And see greener pastures.
Yes, because he's going to bring Zambia the second Africa Cup of Nations, and he's going to take us to the Qatar 2022.
I agree.
You've agreed on one thing.
For the first time.
Mr. Rapson, let's talk a bit. We've seen a lot happening in the United States. And when I say the United States, I mean the NBA. What's really happening? We saw the shooting of Jacob Blake, and a lot of guys are more forfeiting their games in the NBA.
The NBA, actually, they had to postpone the games in the NBA to facilitate for the kind of protest from the players and the teams themselves, because it was a sorry sight. You cannot have policemen shooting a defenseless person seven times in the back, really. It's very, very unfortunate. But the games are back this evening. The first one is starting at about 20:30. So basketball lovers, be glued to the TV. The games are back tonight. And it's the last 16. I think they're in the knockout stages. And it should be a very, very fantastic comeback, because it was suspended for about 3 days. And now we are back tonight with basketball. Yeah.
Augustine, we've run out of time though. Let's look at James Chamanga. Jemba, back to football. Jemba has the latest. A national team call up for him, it's a no. Even if he was to get a call from the president, it's a no for him.
I think he's made it clear, James. He said he's done his part for the country, and it's now high time for these youngsters to try and at least try and emulate him or bypass what he has achieved on the top level. Because now it's all about letting these youngsters be given a chance. The likes of Patson Daka, we can see they're coming up. I'm sure the likes of Francesco Moepo has gone to Europe. He would want to be knocking on the doors of Minutin. I think it's high time that we don't consider James for the national team. It's a very good move for him, because for him to start combining football for the club and for the national team, it will be very, very difficult at this age. So it's better he just stays away from the national team.
Before I go to Mr. Rapson, your closing weight.
I think it's been a fantastic show. Thank you to the viewers out there for tuning in, and we like to thank Martha Nshimbi, our guest for the show today. But we have got unfinished business with Martha, because they beat us at Sunset Stadium and the league was cut short. They were supposed to come to Nkoloma. See, next season they'll come to Nkoloma and we'll beat Sanako Mandawi next season.
Mr. Rapson.
It's been fantastic. I've enjoyed today's show. It's been very, very nice. And I think 17:30 this afternoon, we see the Community Shield being played. Liverpool is facing Arsenal. And it will be a cracker of a game when you look at the players and the teams, how they are prepared. I think it will be a great game of football.
Anyway, a great show we've had, gents, and hoping to have the same show next week. Anyway, to our viewers, we've just come to the close of the show. Time is not on us, it's ticking. And this is the part where we have to say our bye-byes. But anyway, we just like Augustine said, we thank our guest for today, who is Martha Nshimbi. I also have got unfinished business with that because we didn't finish asking a lot of questions. So to be on another day. But anyway, stay glued, because we've got exciting programs lined up for you, because we are just not another channel. You can stay glued to Camnet, and I've been your host, Amos, aka Amorei Baby. And on behalf of the entire team, Mr. Mtwale, it's bye-bye.
Bye-bye.